Fifth Street Soccer, Sports Byline USA, SB Nation Radio. Nick Geber and Nick Webster with you here, as we are each and every weeknight from 1 p.m. Pacific time, and then again 6 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 4 on the East and 9 on the East. Is that correct? 4 on the East and 9 on the East? Yes, my math is good. We're also with you on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/fifthstreetsportstalk. And by the way, if you'd like to communicate with us at any time, it's a great place to do it on the web. I'd like to say hello to our new listener, Patrick McCormick, who joins us on our Facebook stream. So it's great to have you with us. And we would love for you to participate with the show. You can find us on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. Nick Webster, we have a number of matches tomorrow, surprisingly enough, 3, in keeping with tradition here. We have 2 Group C matches. We have Australia, Denmark, and Peru, France, and we have 1 in Group D, a fairly juicy match between Croatia and Argentina. Shall we start by taking a look at Denmark, Australia, and for my money, the Danes in their previous match didn't look all that good. I mean, they were fine. They got the win. Australia, I thought, surprised, as we thought they would, Nick. We knew they were always capable of surprising. They gave France a fairly torrid time. A win for Denmark, though, would all but secure a place in the knockout round. It depends on the other group, though, match between France and Peru, which is later on in the day. We're going to get to that match, too. That's a Group C matchup also. You have to wonder, with a guy like Christian Cueva, who missed the penalty for Peru's first game, if that's going to affect him coming into this game. The mental side of this game is so very important. And Australia, I thought they were unlucky, quite frankly. They were unlucky. It ended up being an awkward game. I thought their performance was excellent. I don't know where to go with this game, Nick. The bookies have Denmark as a plus 353 favorite, which I think is is a little overstated, maybe. Australia plus 353 dog. Denmark are a minus 103 favorite. And it's hard for me to really decide which way to go on this one, Nick. I think the Danes might just eke it out 1-0 again. That's sort of the way I'm thinking. But then I think of Australia, and I think the sort of athleticism that they come out with, and it's difficult for me to see them losing or winning by just 1 goal. How do you see this match going down?
Well, I think you've got 2 very workmanlike teams. Neither are going to dazzle you with their flair and unpredictability. You know exactly what you're going to get. I like the way you're thinking with the under. I could see this one being a 1-0 as you predicted, but I think 1-0 could go either way. And I also see a tie in this one as well. I mean, a draw wouldn't be the worst result for Denmark, and a draw wouldn't actually knock Australia out of the competition. So I see this one being actually a little bit cagey, a little bit cat and mouse, and both teams being very disciplined. But if we are going to have a punt on it, I'm definitely leaning towards the under.
Yeah, I'm with you on the under. That's right now under 2's plus 110 at betanyesports.eu. I think for me, Nick, I'm going to go the draw here, plus 253.
Yeah, I think that, the draw's not entirely out of the question. We haven't seen any draws yet in the second round of matches, but they've all been pretty tight. I mean, there's obviously 3 games today, all 1-0. So teams are beginning to figure out what they did poorly from the first game, make adjustments, tighten up at the back, and we'll see that in this game.
And Australia's likely to go with the 4-4-1-1 again, which is really going to sort of keep a lot of players back defensively and still give them a couple of players lead out for the counter. But the bad team news for Denmark, by the way, which is interesting, is that William Kvist is going to miss the match. He's the midfielder for Denmark that's actually been quite influential for them. So again, the more I look at that, and the Australia going to come out in the same sort of formation, the more I think draw on this one. So I'm going to go draw plus 245. So and the under, we both agree. Shall we go to the next match? We talked about Peru. This is Peru, France, and I mentioned earlier Cueva's missed penalty for Peru and how much that would affect him mentally coming into the next match, which is this one. I have to like France for this one, Nick. For me, this is the acid test for the French. I think Paul Pogba scoring a goal in the last match was exceptionally important because this is a young player that has a lot to prove. And I think that frustration of getting that first goals out of the way. I like the French team for this. I thought the Peruvian team were very capable, showed some great flair, some good defending. I was impressed with the Peruvian team. I think again, we talk about the Fox broadcasters. They did say something I thought that was really relevant. They said that, the key to France is, do they grow into this tournament? And I think the answer to this is going to be yes. I think we're going to see this in this match. For me, I like France on this. It's 2.5. I don't know if I like the over on this, but I do like France at -162. I think there's some nice little value there. The draw's +309 if you think Peru can actually score against France or keep it scoreless. I like France -162. And as for the over-under at 2.5, I'm probably inclined to go with the under on this one, Nick.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you about the under. I actually think we've got two very attack-minded teams here. Yes, France weren't at fifth gear in their opening game against Australia, but they still had enough in the tank to score 2 goals and to get the victory. Meanwhile, I thought Peru were very unlucky, actually, not to get something out of their game against Denmark. They really go forward. Yeah. They go forward with numbers. They're very skillful. Yes, they missed the penalty, which would have completely changed the whole complexion of the game. And the other interesting thing for me is the amount of Peruvian support that's actually out there in Russia. I think we've got two teams. Obviously, France knows that a victory will put them in this second round. Peru know that they must simply get a win to stay inside the competition. I really like a wide open game, lots of goals, but I will have to go with you and say that France will take this one because, well, they're France and it's the sensible thing to do.
Does Deschamps start with Giroud up top?
Oh, absolutely. I think Oliver Giroud gives France this fantastic look. You have Giroud up top, you have Griezmann playing off him, and then you've got that wonderful midfield that is just loaded with talent.
Yeah, and of course, Djibril Sidibe apparently is going to be okay. He was injured. He was taken off injured in the Australia match. This is the team news, which is somewhat important, by the way, if you're planning on having a punt at any of these games, to know who's playing and who's not. So, Nick, for our money, we're both agreeing France. You're taking the over. I'm taking the under. Peru cannot lose. If Peru lose on this, then they're out. But if they can get a draw, they're going to be alive until the last match, the final match of the group. So it is interesting. Peru have a lot to play for here. So this is not going to be a quiet match. In fact, at this point in the tournament, there are going to be very few quiet matches, by the way. But, okay, we both agree France. And at -162, it's not horrible value, by the way. It's not horrible value.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, or you could do like I do, which is, win the money line and lose the over-under and still come out down. But that's all right. Don't tell anyone. Okay, next match. Group C. This is a Group D matchup. This is probably the most anticipated match of the day by far. It's Croatia, an extremely good team. I mean, really, really like Croatia, playing against Argentina, who really, really struggled. We're going to have to see. This is it. This is the acid test for Leonid, as I call him. Leonid Messi, because he's in Russia, obviously. Is he going to be able to step up to the big stage like his friend over there in Portugal and make a real difference for this team? This Argentine team, they couldn't break down Iceland. On the other hand, Nick, we know Iceland can be very difficult to break down, right? Croatia, though, this is a big, strong team that would like to have a go at them. And will they create the space that Messi can use to make stuff happen? It's a hard one for me to pick. If Argentina lose this match, they're in real, real, real trouble, Nick Webster. If they draw this match, they're in real, real, real trouble. They have to really win this match. So this is going to be a terrific match to watch. It is 2 goals on the over/under. The over is -143. So the bookies are expecting a lot of goals in this match. The under is +128. Croatia's +290. Argentina is +115. So they're not a massive favorite here. And the draw is +232. Draw would be disastrous. Argentina have to win this match. Nick, how do you see this one going?
Well, this one is an absolute monster. One of the biggest games of the second round of games in this World Cup, and I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, Argentina can't afford to lose this game. They really can't afford to draw this game.
Right.
They actually have to go out and win this game. So now the onus is on them to do the attacking. I can see Croatia just sitting back. Thank you very much. Like you said, they're big, they're powerful. We've seen how disciplined they are, but they have one of the most creative midfields in the entire tournament. I could see Argentina being forced to make the running and Croatia picking them off on the break. And I really like this Croatian team. I think they've got the mentality, they've got the cohesion. And currently, right now, Argentina seem to be all at sea with this, this Leonid Messi nonsense, where there's too much pressure on the lad.
Given the fact, Nick, I mean, he's got Sergio Aguero, he's got Pavon, there's Messi up front. I mean, they play three up top. Those are three big names. It's not just about the one guy. But somehow, Nick, it all does become about the one guy. And what's funny is if you look at the Croatian team, we had this discussion when we were looking at the last Croatia game. The Croatian team is, in fact, the engine room of the big teams in Europe. Barcelona, Real Madrid, some of the teams in England. I mean, if you want to look at what's driving the midfield of those teams, particularly the Real Madrid European Championship teams, that is they're Croatian. So,
yeah.
I mean, this is, I actually quite like Croatia for this match, Nick. I think this could be the upset of the tournament right here.
As corny as it sounds, I'm going to say that the first game in this goal is just monumental. And should Croatia score it, they will go on and win the game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they won it comfortably because, as I've said, I think they have the ability to pick off Argentina on the break. So it behooves Argentina to maybe keep the game tight. Croatia want to keep it tight because they've already got the 3 points in the bag. I'm leaning towards, I want to say an over just because I love attacking football and we have two teams that can score a lot of goals. But I'm kind of leaning towards
the under.
An under, because I just think it might be a little tight and. Croatia pick Argentina off, but I think Croatia's good value for a win. Okay, if you're feeling your oats tomorrow, check the lineups. But I've got the sneaking feeling about Croatia. They could be good value. Maybe take them with straight up because I believe they get half a goal, so a draw and you'd still win.
Well, I'm just looking at the team news, Nick, and there are no injury concerns for Argentina here at all at this point. They're 100%. And Croatia, Nikola Kalinic was sent home for refusing to be subbed on when they played Nigeria. I don't know if you knew that. So they're down one forward, but that's okay. Other than that, no other injuries. Interesting, some locker room turmoil potentially with the Croatian team. But look, Nick, I'm with you. I like Croatia plus 290, great value. Argentine team did anything but impress me. So Messi is not the type of player that can handle this all on his own, particularly against the big, strong, powerful and fast Croatian team. All right, we're going to go to break. We'll be right back to wrap it up here on Fifth Street Soccer. Nick Ebra, Nick Webster with you. Find us on the web at fifthstreetsports.com. We'll be right back after this.